And action.
That's good. Hey, it's Camo, and welcome to Nashville Meets World. In case you hadn't noticed, to the left of me, we have a guest.
Hello, how are
Her
you?
name's Tera Lynne Fister. It was funny when you were coming into the building. I saw somebody crossing the street with the outfit you have on. I'm going to assume that's our guest today.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for being here, first of all.
Thank you so much for having me. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, especially during, as people are seeing this now, it's about a week after the tornado, but
Yes.
today it's yesterday and the day before.
Yes.
You had no problems?
No, we were very fortunate. I live in Mount Juliet, which is about 20-25 minutes outside of Nashville, as in the city. And Mount Juliet actually got pretty torn up as well as Lebanon. And where we actually live, about 3 minutes down the road, there was a school that was just flattened. So we consider ourselves pretty fortunate and lucky. I grew up in Missouri, like right in Tornado Alley. Yeah. So I was kind of used to the sirens and all the hoopla, but I've never heard one like that before. So it was.
I remember the first time I heard tornado sirens, because I'm originally from Canada, from kind of the Toronto area.
Yeah.
We don't get tornadoes. So the first time I heard the siren go off, I go wandering outside. Well, I wonder, is that like a fire truck? I didn't know what it was. And I've learned. And I've also learned that going to a safe place and going to a happy place are two
very different.
Yeah, very different.
I think what people always or either don't know or forget about tornadoes is that you don't have that preparation time. Yeah. It's like you think you're like, oh, you know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tornadoes, it's just like, well, bam.
Yeah.
So, but Nashville's really pulled together, haven't we?
They are, and we are helping out the Community Foundation of Middle Tennessee. So
fantastic.
We'll tag everything with that.
Yes.
You go and donate. Let's talk about you and your music. Glad you're
Thank
safe.
you.
I heard your music just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Your publicist sent it to me, so what do you think? And I'm like, whoa.
Thank you.
What a cool sound.
Thank you.
I really like what you're doing. What influenced you to get to the kind of style of music you're doing now, and your sound of music?
I would have to say probably the conglomeration of everything I had growing up. I was never a singular genre kind of girl. I listened to a lot of 90s country growing up because my parents did, but then my brother's in musical theater. I had a lot of theater influence. My sister was a total rock head, so I had a lot of rock influence. And then growing up on my own, I really dug into old country. I fell in love with Waylon Jennings and Merle Haggard, especially Merle Haggard's voice and writing. And then just being an adult, I'm a huge sucker for a Casey Musgrave song. I'm a huge sucker for a Foo Fighters song. I'm a huge sucker for a Johnny Cash song. Yeah. So, you know, I as much as I want to have a simple lyric with a beautiful melody, I also want to be able to headbang.
Yeah,
so
like
there's a little bit of everything on this EP or album, however you want to look at it.
I think that's a good thing, because the way music is changing now, and the way music is distributed, radio is like, okay, we're a country station, or we're a top 40 country station, or we're a traditional country station, or we're a classic rock station where the playlist ends at 1990.
Right.
You know, but people are consuming music so differently. They like the Foos. They like Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And music is more playlisty.
It is. There's I think making something secular is no longer a thing.
Yeah.
It's even when you say like country music these days. Like country music these days, it's so eclectic. It is from so one extreme to another. That even with this album, when we were trying to define what genre we're going to put it out as, are we going to put it as Americana? Are we going to put it as an alternative? Are we going to put it out as country? We finally landed with country just because country is so wide open. Yeah. It kind of, and it's not going anywhere. Country is not going to disappear.
No. And so many genres have become so blended that it's hard to distinguish what's a pop song now,
Yeah.
What's a country song? What's a rock song?
What's a country pop song?
Yeah, they're all just blending together. So I like it when artists are doing what you do.
Thank you.
And just defining the genre they want to define it.
Yeah,
the way somebody else wants to.
My mom, we always kind of joked that it's like a psychedelic honky tonk rock. That's my genre, psychedelic honky tonk rock.
And I mean, that goes with the look as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of ink, so
Thank you.
I love your tats.
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, you.
I'm a growing picture.
Yeah, I am too. I love them, but it really presents a visual that says, "I'm not your ordinary."
Yes, I always say, you know, like my hair is probably the smartest branding I've ever done. So I mean, anywhere I play or anywhere I'm hanging out, it's always like, you know, oh, the girl with the pink hair's here. Like even if they don't know my name, they know I'm the girl with the pink hair.
Yeah.
So I always feel like my although it was a wild child decision, the older I get, the more I'm like, man, I was branding myself and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So.
So you've got a new album. Is it an album or a single?
I've got a single out that came out in November.
Right.
But I have an album that's coming as well.
Friday.
I've got,
Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. We're recording this ahead of time, so we have.
My brain is catching up. Don't worry.
So Friday, the album comes out, and it'll be available everywhere. Have you been looking forward to this release?
I have. It's kind of been a little bit of a whirlwind, you know. My intentions moving here were always, I'm going to do music. Being a younger individual when I moved here, I don't know what capacity. There was no clear cut path, and in the music industry, I don't think there is an A plus B equals C. No. There is no formula to go like, I've got $2 million and these 3 people and we're going to make it happen. Lots of those have happened, and you don't know their names either.
Just to interrupt, Springsteen said it best, I think, when I was watching his Springsteen on Broadway.
Oh, is that the Netflix one?
Yeah.
I've seen that one as well.
And he says, 1 + 1 can equal 2.
Mm-hmm.
But when 1 + 1 = 3, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
And that's the way the music is. And you got a ton of people out there doing 1 + 1 = 2, but the rare ones are doing 1 + 1 = 3.
You need to be a prime number.
Yeah, 3 is where the magic happens.
Yeah.
So you're a 3.
Thank you. From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah, there you go. So talk more about the album. I just had you.
Sure, of course. So the album is self-titled. It's Tera Lynne Fister. The single that we released is called Hellraiser. Mm-hmm. And I've been telling people that this album is basically 28 years of Tera in 7 songs. So it is 7 songs. So some people call it an EP, some people call it an album. Pish posh, I don't, wherever you want to call it, I'm happy with.
There's a bunch of songs by Tera Lynne Fister.
Yes, and that's all you need to know.
That's it.
And I've got everything on there from like a smooth jazz Betsy Klein song to a kind of a Grace Potter headbanger to a straight up honky tonk sing along girl sassy music. There's a lot on that album in just those 7 songs. So there's a heart wrenching one about my mother that I lost last March to pancreatic cancer. So anybody who's gone through a trial like that, there's something for you to kind of wrap your heart around. And then I've got like a little ode to Rod Stewart on there. There's all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
That's
I
really
love Rod
cool.
Stewart, so we've got a little bouncy jig in there.
Have you heard they're saying the Faces could be back together?
Oh yeah.
Rod Stewart, Roddy Wood.
How fun would that be?
Yeah, at least for a tour, which would be a blast.
Yeah.
After the Stones tour is done, and Roddy can get back in doing something else. But yeah.
I saw a quote the other day that was like, the smartest thing a rock band could do is break up so that in 10 years they could do a reunion tour and be 100,000 times richer again.
Yeah. And Genesis is going out on tour again. I've heard tickets are like $3,000 to see Genesis.
Well,
and that's just
it's just money, right?
Yeah, it's just money.
It's just money. You'll make more.
People that say
You'll
that,
make more.
People that say that always have more
money.
than they know what to do. Nobody like you or me says, it's just money.
I try. I pretend.
You want to do a song for us?
I would love to do a song for you guys.
Okay. Can't wait. What are you going to do?
I'm going to do a song called Home, which is a little nostalgic. Just knowing that some things you can't go back to, but they are still near and dear to your heart.
Nice. Tera Lynne Fister.
Thanks, guys. Here we go. It's been ages since I've been back. Pulled into the drive with all the cracks. Found my keys and unlocked that door. Saw My mama standing there, dog laying on the floor. But there were no worries, there was nothing but time. My daddy left at 7 and was home by 5. My brother had gone away and my sister was in love. I was wearing the clothes that she grew out of. You never think that there will come a time where getting home means a 5-hour drive. My brother crossed the hall, no sister downstairs. My daddy in his socks in a rocking chair. You know, growing up, it's always part of your plan. You want bills in your name and rings on your hand. You never think you're gonna miss those times, till that house is sold and now a stranger calls it mine. Well, I'd go back if I could. I'd pull into that drive and watch my mama cook. I'd set the table while I spilled a drink. We could say a dinner prayer and laugh while we eat. You never think there will come a time getting home means a 5-hour drive. My brother crossed that hall, my sister downstairs. My daddy in his socks and a rocking chair. It's been ages since I've been back. The strangers fix the drive, there's no more cracks. There's some kids in the front yard I don't know, but their mama's standing there and their dog's on the porch.
Great song.
Thank you very much.
Lots of meanings and
Yeah, very
relatable
nostalgic.
stuff in there. Yeah. I like how it ends too.
Thanks, full circle.
Yeah.
I
It's
was
neat.
so that song came about because so my parents had been together since they were 18. They're like truly the American like dream, married at 18, 3 kids, dogs, horses, white picket fence.
Yeah.
And so when I'm one of 3. So when all of us had moved out, and my sister lives in Arkansas, my brother lives in Birmingham, I'm here. My dad is still in St. Louis. And when we all moved out, my mom, I guess, just woke up one day and kind of looked around. She was like, all right, we don't need all this space anymore, let's move. But that was our childhood home, you know. We grew up there, we cried there, I learned how to play guitar, like whole 9 yards. So when they told us that they were putting the house up for sale, all of us kids were so offended. We were just like,
Really?
we were so offended. We're like, you're gonna, what? Like, what? That's our house, like that's our home, what do you mean? And so they sold the house, and I was devastated. I was heartbroken. And I just remember having this feeling, which is a silly feeling because home is where the heart is, right? But I just remember having this like void of like, I don't have a home to go home to anymore. I don't have this, which is a silly notion, but that is quite literally how I felt. And so I wrote that song, I think, in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, to me, it's 4 walls,
Yeah.
I have no attachment to a building at all.
I wish I had that about myself.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit of a clinger to things. Something I
Home
should
is
work
wherever
on.
I happen to be.
I need to keep that in my forefront.
Yeah, I don't know. People keep saying I'm so detached from everything, but
Well,
yeah,
teach their own.
it's just I appreciate the sentiment. I understand why people get attached to the childhood home and everything, but that was just a place for me that I needed to get out of.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if it wasn't a place of warm and fuzzy, I can definitely understand.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool. I went back for Christmas and I had my boyfriend with me, so I was showing him around town, and we drove to the old house, and literally there was like kids playing in the front yard, and it was after that I was kind of like, oh, okay, like serving another purpose. That house is doing its job again. So it was, I felt fulfilled, and that's actually how that last verse came about. It was, I had finished the song, and then when I went back and saw the home again with the kids, I kind of made the song come full circle. Yeah.
That's neat. That's a really pretty song.
Thank you.
I hope people go out and get it.
I hope you enjoyed it. It's called Home.
Again, the album comes out tomorrow.
Yes. Wow. It's
Friday.
pretty exciting.
Tomorrow or Friday. Either one.
We're going to say tomorrow's Friday.
What inspires you to write? Is it just everyday stuff, or do you just get this notion in your head that I can write something?
I think my like word vomit response would be high emotion.
Yeah.
Whether it's positive, negative, high emotion is always what brings me to put pen to paper.
Yeah.
I've always written, even when I was younger in grade school, my notebooks were filled with just, I think I'm more of a poem writer to begin with, and then I take those poems and reconfigure them into a song, but it definitely always comes out as a poem. And like I had this idea the other day. I was looking at my face in the mirror, you know, I put my makeup on or whatever I was doing, and I had a trying year losing my mother, and I feel like I looked different after that year, more significantly than I've noticed before. And so I looked in the mirror the other day, and I had thought, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm seeing age in my face for the first time in my life. I see it. No, I'm serious though.
I know.
I'm not trying to be silly.
No, it's just when you get older, like
it just keeps going. I know.
People, oh, I'm so devastated. I'm turning 30. Really?
I'm not
really?
though. That's the thing though. I kind of have an appreciation for it because I think also since my mom passed so young, she was only 54. I feel like getting older is a privilege. Like getting older, I know you speak to someone who's older and they're like, oh, it sucks. This goes and that goes. But I feel like it really is a privilege.
Yeah, I guess I'm 58.
Okay.
So
imagine being gone 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That would smack you in the face, you know?
Well, there's that. But yeah, I think with age comes a whole lot more freedom.
Yeah.
To say, I just don't care about that. You know, and you
And
narrow
that's
down.
beautiful. Oh gosh, it's glorious.
Yeah,
I think it's glorious.
It is. It's amazing but you narrow down your field. It's like you spend all your life getting stuff, and then at a certain point you say, I don't need
Why?
it. Why? What?
Yeah.
So, and I guess it would be the same as a writer when you know, for the first time you look in a mirror and you see age.
Yeah.
And that finally hits you.
I did, and I had the thought in my head of, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing age in my face for the first time in my life ever. And then I thought about it, I was like, that's a line and a half. Like I saw age in my face for the first time the other day. So I sat down and I wrote like this entire poem about like, you know, I have all these options. Like I could go get that fixed. Like there's a doctor down the road that for $300 could make me like have my face from yesterday.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I'm not going back that way. I'm not going back to yesterday. So yeah, I think it's always just like an emotion that drives pen to paper.
Nice. You talk about age, and I guess society makes it more difficult for a woman to age gracefully.
Yeah.
But screw gracefully, really.
Yeah. I'm going out on fire, guys.
I love that there's this whole movement now with women to go gray. Mm-hmm. I think it's great.
Yeah, Emmylou Harris she's had that down for ages, hasn't she?
She's been the leader of the pack on that.
Oh gosh, and it's great. She's got the best gray hair.
Yeah.
I hope I Emmylou out.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling you'll be doing that.
Yeah. I did. I'm a huge Pink fan.
Yeah.
And she actually posted the other day on Instagram about, I don't know if someone had like heckled her or something, but she straight up said like, I'm doing this the old-fashioned way. You will see every line on my face. You will see every gray hair I have. Who's riding the train with me? And of course, there was like 8 bajillions. Oh my God, you're the best. But I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, Pink is so aggressive and abrupt and like harsh in her deliveries. So I don't want to like kiss it.
See, I don't get that from her. I just think she has a perfect sense of who she is, and you're either with her or you're not. And
you don't offend her either way.
Yeah. She doesn't care which you are, but each one has to understand the other.
Yeah.
And I think it's great.
Yeah, she's one of the artists I look at, and I think she's just jaw dropping. Everything she does it 100%.
You ever go out on high wires or a trapeze?
Oh my, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's just. If I have the budget, let's do it. Put me in the air.
Yeah.
I'll learn.
That's great. Who else do you look up to? Like Pink.
Like Pink? Well, like I said, Casey Musgraves sonically. I love, especially in this last album, I love literally like the space in her songs. Yeah. I love this, like I don't want to call it empty because it's not empty, but there's just certain space in her music sonically that I think is just breathtaking. It's so kind of trippy, in a great sense. So I always, and especially being in the studio, I really kept that in the back of my mind of like, what's endearing to me about the music I listen to, and always with her, it's the space. So I try to honor that in my music as well.
I love the space too, especially from an advertising standpoint. One word in a lot of empty space can speak so much more than a whole bunch of words and not so much empty space.
Yeah, and that's actually something that I love about Merle Haggard's writing. Yeah. Merle Haggard could take a 10-word sentence and say it in 3 words and make you cry harder.
Yeah.
What?
Especially his early stuff was like that too.
Yeah. Like today I started loving you again.
Yeah.
Like just that sentence. Yeah. How many times have you been there? Every human has experienced that, like.
To me, my favorite song of his is always If We Make It Through December.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's such a pain. It's not a Christmas song. People play it as a Christmas song.
And it's not. It's literally like, hey, we're struggling. I don't know if we're going to make it. Yeah. But if we do,
it's December,
we'll be fine.
So it's a little bit harder. But yeah, it's not a Christmas song.
And like the line about, my daughter doesn't understand why daddy doesn't have, can't buy, was it shoes or something?
Yeah.
Christmas shoes, Christmas presents this year. I can't remember why specifically, but yeah, he was heart-wrenching sometimes.
Oh yeah, he was the king of...
Stick it to ya. I know. I know. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Misery and Gin.
Oh, what a great song.
So actually, so this tattoo is actually, it's an ode to Merle Haggard, but it's also an ode to my mom. So it says Mama tried. But I wanted to get Misery and Gin. That's what I wanted to have tattooed. But I'm just like, oh, what a miserable thing to have in my body for the rest of my life. Misery and Gin. Like, that's brutal. So I went with Mama Tried, which seems cliche, but I was like, Mom, you did a good job.
I always say, and Merle Haggard could be really dark.
Oh, yeah.
But present it in a way that it was palatable for popular audiences. And like I always say, the most fun happens in the dark.
Yeah.
You can say things with a dark theme that you can't otherwise.
Yeah. So have you seen the Joker movie?
No, I've seen that.
Oh, well, I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of dark.
I just finished watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That was great. I saw that as well.
Movie.
I liked it.
Leonardo
DiCaprio was great.
Yeah. And I'm not a Leo fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I hadn't liked him in anything, especially Titanic. That's 3 hours.
Come on, Jack.
3 hours of my life. I'm just... By the end, I was like, die.
Let go.
Let go of the ice. No one's coming to save you.
That's the best part of the movie, though. She's like, I'll never let go. Conk.
Yeah, fine. And then it's like, finally. You want to do another song?
That would be wonderful, yes.
All right. Tell us what you're going to do.
So this is the single that came out in November. It's called Hellraiser. Mm-hmm. It is a sassy, swampy, swingy, honky-tonk tune, kind of going out to all the ladies. It's a little bit of a woman anthem.
Good.
I hope you love it.
All right.
Let's get sassy.
Tera Lynne Fister.
I've been to jail, and I did my time. I laid in that petri dish for a long night, and I called my sister. She paid my bail. I cried my tears, gave that jumpsuit back. Now I wanna raise hell. Mom and Daddy laugh when they hear my stories. I tell my tales. I'm just a woman trying to do my you just let me tell? I wasn't looking for a king, but he was looking for a dime. So he bought me a drink, said I'm gonna make you mine. He said he likes Merle Haggard, he said he makes me cry. I said, darling, I will too, I'd rather make you smile. So if you know how to two-step, I might let you ring my bell. I'm just a woman trying to do my thing. Can't you just let me raise hell? Well, these are my best friends. These are my three best guys. We'll play the shit out of anything for $20 and a damn good time. We might play a little loud. Some say we drink too much, so we pretend we're listening while the bartenders fill our cups. We don't care what your name is or what kind of salvation you sell. I'm just a woman trying to do my thing. Can't you just let me raise hell? Oh, let me raise hell. You know I wanna raise hell.
That's a cool song. I think that's the one that Nicole played me.
Awesome.
First, and wow, it just grabbed me the way you just killed it.
Thank you. Thanks.
I love your voice. You got this whole smoky thing going.
Yeah.
It's either
Especially
that
with
or
these allergies going on,
yeah, I was
right?
gonna say, it's Nashville allergies.
We're not sick. It's Nashville
It's Nashville. You
allergies.
can't catch anything.
No.
You know, maybe a touch of Corona.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But bring your line.
Yeah. Okay, it's time in the show where you get to play Asked and Answered.
Oh, should I set this down? Let's get serious.
Sure. Our viewers around the world have sent in questions that
This
need
is
answers.
exhilarating.
So just reach in there and pull out a question.
I love this, by the way.
Yeah, we used to keep Nana in it, but we needed something for the questions, so we flushed Nana.
Well, Nana, she's living the high life. All right. What's the most interesting thing that has ever happened to you playing a show? Mary from Oxford, England. Well, Mary, seeing as I play a lot, especially when I'm in town. My money source is to play downtown. So I've had quite a number of experiences with some very intoxicated people. But I think, for the most part, the one that always gets me, and it's very consistent, is the random girl that just runs on stage. She doesn't know why she's there. She doesn't know, but she is getting down, and she's standing right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whatever we're singing along to, and she's right here.
Really?
Yeah, you're like,
Nothing awkward about
hello, would you like to sing a song? And at first, when I first started playing, it threw me off. It kind of like, I was like, oh no, like how do I handle this random person in front of all these people? And now I've gotten to the point where she just becomes part of the show. I'm like, if you're gonna get up here, you're gonna shake your booty.
I don't even say the word booty.
Well, for the Britneys and the Jessicas that run up there, and everybody else, including myself, I've been that girl.
When you're a big star, you have some big dude
Who just
in a tour jacket that
tackles.
does a sliding tackle. You don't have to worry about it so much. Okay, so Tera Lynne Fister is about to head out on her first international stadium tour as a headliner.
Yes.
Who opens for you?
Who opens for me?
Yes.
Who? That's a fantastic question. Who would open for me? I hope Grace Potter. Maybe we could co-front together.
Co-fronting?
I'm sure there's lots of things she could teach me I need to know.
That's cool.
So I would definitely love to do Grace Potter.
Yeah, the first one that said Grace Potter. That's really cool. And
Thank
you get
you.
some really cool answers. Some people will, assume that Garth Brooks is going to have a downside to his career, so that he's going to be back to opening up.
You can only go so high.
Yeah, that's right. And it's bound to happen in 30 or 40 years. And then some people will pick, specific names that they've come up with, and it's just really cool the kind of answer you get.
Yeah, I think if I could pick a friend that would open for me, and you should look her up as well, it'd probably be Tori Allen, one of my good girlfriends.
Yeah. Okay,
She's
that's
a
cool.
badass musician, fiddle player, singer, songwriter, producer.
Tell her she has to come on the show.
Oh, she will. I will get her booty here.
tell
I'll
her
get her
to
booty here.
Yeah, all right. Tell her to reach out to me. We'll
Yes,
get some
definitely.
So the album comes out tomorrow. It's called
My name, Tera Lynne Fister.
And people can find you everywhere on socials.
Yes, of course. Instagram is the best way. I am Fister, and that's Fister.
Neat. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
You
for having me.
really
It's been
are
a
cool
pleasure.
and rock, and you can come back anytime
Thank
you
you.
want.
Thanks.
You're
Right
just a
back
really
at you.
fun guest. And I love the purple socks with the leopard skin print shoes.
Okay, so let me tell you about this decision real quick. First of all, I cannot decide if these are the cutest thing or the most hideous thing I own, but I love them. And I didn't know if we were going to be standing or sitting, so I brought heels.
Oh, okay.
Since we are sitting, I'm rocking my purple socks.
Purple socks. And it's special.
Thank you.
Kind of short but special.
Yeah.
Really.
I wear my helmet. It's cool.
Tera Lynne Fister, go check her out. Find her on her socials and everything so you can keep up with what she's got going on. Buy the album, which comes out Friday, tomorrow, and you'll love it.
Yes. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for being here. Wave to them. Bye-bye.
Have a
See you
great
next time.
Yeah, I guess